G'day guys, and welcome to the Waffle Pan with the Magnificent.Margon. Been rattling my brain to try and figure out what I'm going to talk about this week. So I've covered most of the basics between War Thunder and sort of, tanks. The only thing I haven't really covered is when you have annoying people that get in the way of the direction you want to go. Now I'm trying to head round to the left, the Stug 3 is trying to head round to the right. Yeah, it's not going to work for him because I'm just pushing him slowly in the direction I want. And we're both slowing down, and I'm not giving up because I want to win this one. So anyway, that's the way it goes. Kaz is back playing with me. He's on his SU-85. Shojimaru, who's on his PZ4H. So yeah, it's been interesting. I've played tanks most of today, along with a fair bit of ground forces as well. So it's been good. I've actually noticed that now that we're sort of past like what I would call the silly season in tanks again, I'm starting to have a lot better battles. I think the silly season's up at tier 8 at the moment. I am just not having any love at tier 8, and I'm not having any fun at tier 8. I don't know what it is. Just everything I do seems to not work, particularly in my T28 Prot. I don't think I've won a battle in that tank in weeks, since I got it basically, which is probably about 2 weeks now. So, but anyway, I'm loaded waffle. It's Veterans Week apparently, which is where I think most of the countries around this world remember all the veterans that served and fight, and they get to represent themselves and everything like that. So that's basically Veteran Weeks, which is on at the moment. So I know that Wargaming have got Golden Eagles or something they're on this weekend. I think it's all the weekend coming. Tanks have got at the moment, I think it's not on, I don't think I've noticed it on the Asian server, but I have, hang on, I haven't noticed on the Asian server, but they were doing like a 2 times victory for every first victory. Haven't actually had that yet, so I don't know whether it's working or what's happening in that regard, or whether it is working and I'm not really paying attention. So unless they're doing it at a later date on the Asian servers, I'm not sure. I think I may have fixed the graphics problem I've been having. I've been having a hell of a time with World of Tanks. Now I run it at a reasonable level of detail, but lately I've had to be scaling it down. Now the only reason why I've been having to do that is purely because my game keeps crashing and having graphics driver problems. Now I don't think there's much else I could recommend in this regard, other than if you are having this problem, I've found that since I've cleaned the dust out of my computer, which is as simple as grabbing the air compressor you probably have in your garage and hit it again, and using that to actually clean out the inside of your thing to allow the airflow to work properly and the dust to stop chogging everything up basically. So since I've done that with this PC, I've noticed that I've been able to start pushing the graphics up, and obviously my graphics card was just getting so hot that it was just dumping its memory and crashing games on me. I did start to notice it in War Thunder. They did it a couple of times to me over the last few days, and I thought, okay, I have to check something out. I got to work out things and do trial by error. And I noticed as soon as I did that, the system seemed to have picked up speed, obviously because everything's running cooler again. So general server maintenance to your PCs and stuff does help out. So I'd recommend it all the time to check those things if you're starting to hit trouble and all those sort of bits and pieces. But I also need to, I think I'm getting to the stage where I need to put a bit more RAM in this computer. And I do need to buy a new graphics card to actually play these games at full high definition all the time. I'm just not getting the performance that I need to show you guys. Well, it's pretty good quality at the moment, but I would like to be able to show a little bit better quality than what I've got. It's just not quite where I would like it to be. So yeah, I've got to work on that sort of stuff. Now, I'll probably have a bit of a whine and bitch now. I have noticed that lately, in ground forces, I've been getting a lot of glitching problems where I get stuck on things. Now, it's actually quite funny. I had a battle today. I'll see if I can find the one when we go over to War Thunder. It was basically, I got stuck to a tank and was being dragged along by this tank, and I couldn't break free. Whether there was something that had connected us, some cable, I am not entirely sure, but it was quite funny. I was just like, hang on, I don't want to go that way, and he spun me 360 degrees around, and I ended up facing the wrong direction. So I should see if I can find that one. I don't know, it'll be somewhere. I'll just grab whatever file out of War Thunder. That's generally how it works. Been playing a lot of ground forces. As I said, I actually played for the first time in probably about a week or two in my British planes. I forgot how easy it is to play the planes compared to the tanks. The planes, you just fly around in the air. The tanks, you've got to have a lot of ability and skill. Planes, you've got a bit more forgiveness when you're in the air. You've got a lot of space so you can just run around and dogfight and maneuver and bomb and whatever else. A tank, you're fixed in a two-dimensional world. Yeah, that really hurt. That M41 was just waiting for me. Good on him, in my opinion. And then Kaz has also been killed because I got killed when we were both trying to sneak up on this TD and destroy him. So, but yeah, what can I say? It's been a long time. I haven't had as many games lately as I thought I would have in tanks. It's been very hard for me. I've been playing really well and been jumping in and out, but it just hasn't been like how I've been hoping for. Now, I've been sort of hoping that this segment would take off in a way where people would ask questions about different things. So I got to revert to different things that I've been asked lately. Now, as you all know, my brother-in-law Shojimaru, who's actually started playing. Now he is really starting to learn, and it took me a bit to sort of show him and get him how to understand the grasps and the little bits and pieces in tanks. And it was one of those things where he was a bit. He used to play, and he found it very hard to play by himself. Now tanks is a lot more fun with people, as well as it's also can be a lot of fun by yourself if you have great teams to play with, which I haven't had a lot of lately. Now, not to say too much about it. Just because I haven't been having good games doesn't mean I haven't been enjoying them as by myself. So, really, it comes down to more or less your ability to do things. And that's the way I look at it. And you've got to play tanks to the best of your abilities. And at the moment, we've been having triple weekends on the Asian server nearly every day, which has been good. But at the same time, it would have been a lot nicer if they probably hadn't done that, because we've had a lot of sort of new players in the game building their way up in the game, and they haven't exactly got the ability to play at the top tiers, and it's sort of been very, very hard to play with those players just because of those reasons. Now, I don't know really what to say about that. It's sort of been fairly difficult to play with players like that. I was sort of, I don't mind when you get to the top tiers, and I know I was there at one stage, but I always tried to make sure that I performed at all times. It's just one of those things that you do. You just got to try and assist your team, do the best you can, and help out. And I've just been having a lot of difficulty with the people that just are not able to play. Maybe not play as well as what I do, and try to keep my standards as high as possible. Some days I know, like the rest of us, we do have tournament games. I regularly have tournament games. Now, some days I have games where basically nothing goes right for me, and everything goes wrong all at the same time. And that's sometimes the difficulty of playing World of Tanks, more or less. But yeah, you can always find it hard. Now, as you can see, I'm currently playing War Thunder as part of the group. This is a game I played today. Now, I had a lot of fun, and it was good. It was good to be able to just play War Thunder and not have too much in the way of worries. Because I've been having a lot of difficulty in War Thunder with the ground forces, just getting used to it. Oh, excuse me. But I always feel that you can come back to War Thunder, jump in a plane, and have a look. As you can see, I just sat on the arse of this bomber and shot and shot and shot and shot. And all of a sudden my engine stalled out. And yeah, it didn't restart. It's sort of one of those things where I was like, okay, I'm now stuck. I don't know whether that was the prop jamming or something happened, but I'm flooring it, trying to get this thing to take off and fly, but it's not doing it for me. And as you're about to see, I'm slowly gliding into the runway and just adjusting and going, limping into this runway. People overshooting me, people trying to take me out, everything. Oh dear me. So yes, but this is how sometimes unforgiving War Thunder can be. Forgiving it can. Remember that bomb? It's actually quite funny when I saw that bomb here. And then, where is it? Come on. Yep, I'm not taking off, and boom. I was not going anywhere. There was nothing I could do anyway, other than shoot my boots in the air and hope for the best. Yeah, it's been really good to actually. Oh, that was Kaz. That's right, that was Kaz. I remember that. He was just coming in for a nice landing right beside me and crashed. Yeah, I can't say much else. When I had my brother-in-law Shojamaru come up, he actually asked me about ground forces. Now, one of the questions he did ask was, it is realistic. Yes, it's realistic. It's okay. And when he sat there watching it, he was watching the tank bounce around, and he actually made the comment, it really is realistic. And he goes, you can't drive for nuts, Jeff. And yeah, I went, I can't drive. But what are you going to do about it? So I went, yeah, well, you try driving this thing, instead you touch the controls ever so slightly at speed and the thing will kick out. There's not much else you can do about it. I went, oh, okay, cool. And he had a little go, and I was like, yeah, you're right, he just realised that I was playing at my Resist 30. Resist 30 is not a terrible tank, it was just something I wanted to do. I just wanted something different to do, rather than something that was difficult to do, so I tried it instead. Love this plane. Wellington is just so OP. It's ridiculous. I just kept flying around in the air. My gunners are just opening up all the sides, shooting targets. I basically decided to do strafing runs in this thing and just use it to shoot targets. Put as much damage as possible using my crew. Only thing is, I found that the airframe is in the center. And once it gets shot up a fair bit, it starts getting originally big. And eventually it just sort of tummy hits. I've lost one of my engines. But yeah, so he asked a few questions, and he's actually said to me, gee, Plane Simulator looks a lot easier, and to be honest, it is a lot easier. It goes the whole thing. That's what you can do when you go down. That's right. Pull out the spam, that's what I say. But yeah, not much to compare against the two games now. It's sort of, it is difficult. This was a segment I don't know whether I'll come back to at a later date and just keep going with reviews on tanks and things like that. I have got a few different comparison reviews I'm going to try and do down the track. I was hoping to have a little more interest in this, but I haven't. So maybe as my brother-in-law asks me questions, things like that, and as new players, as mates of mine slowly tick over and play War Thunder, play Ground Forces, I'll be able to answer a few questions basically. It's hard to do this every week as well, and it's my bitch about things. And the biggest bitch I've got at the moment is basically I'm sick and tired of stupid people with tanks. I'm really just hoping to having a normal time in tanks where I don't have any problems and everything just seems to work out perfectly. So there's cows on the ground. But it was just like, while I'm flying over making things like you saw it passing on top speed. He was trying to capture me. There are just so many things. This is where my brother-in-law came back in again. And he said it was pretty cool. I just saw this thing fly around and loved it. So guys, this is pretty well the end of it tonight. Haven't got much else to talk about, and this battle's almost over. So yeah, if you do like it, please hit like. If you like me to bitch and do anything things, please like that too. That's the whole purpose of this channel. The whole purpose of this show is for me to bitch about things. Now, haven't got much to bitch about at the moment. As I said, everything seems to be just working nicely, but just at the same time, the top tiers and all the tanks don't seem to be working. I'm probably going to start playing a little bit more realistic in War Thunder. Arcade's fine, just a couple of quick games, but I need a bit more action. That's how I'm feeling. So if you do like it, hit like. If you want to subscribe to my channel, ooh, and there goes the back again, and we're flipping it. So if you want to subscribe to my channel, please subscribe to it. There's also a Facebook page, which is Magnificent.Margon over on Facebook. It will basically, it's where I put all my videos, and I do add certain things and updates as I hear them from different forums and pages that I pay attention to. There's also my email, so if you want to send me an email, send me questions about games and stuff, or even if you just want to ask me what I feel and how I think about different things. I do read a lot about War Thunder now and about ground forces, as well as I read a lot of war games. So Gaijin games and war games I cover a lot. I'm trying to find another game that I can play. You know, as I said in an earlier piece that I did, I played WoW years ago, and I am looking forward to playing WoW. There is cats. What's his name like? Or was that his other one, his Shadow? That might not be the big one. That was the other one. That was one I had a telegram flying through. That's what so yeah, I'm going to go do a strafe run through the center here, just to shoot people with my gun before I start shooting something. So yeah, if you want to do that. Outside of that, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this. I might not do one hands with, I might just keep this on the back burner for a bit until I figure out whether or not it's worthwhile doing. I might do it at a later date. So this will be the last one of my waffle pants for a little while, unless I feel it necessary to do something. So if you want me to keep it, please write a comment down and say, hey, we do like it, or you want to hear more. That's right, there's a jam. I'm just going to try and block my comments. Everything's jammed. I couldn't understand it. Try. So yeah, hope you enjoyed all this, guys. I've done the best I can. I know a lot of people watch my World of Tanks stuff, so you're probably watching this for my World of Tanks battles. And I want to get more an audience with War Thunder as well, so I'm working on War Thunder. Other news that I've got is I have got the new patch beta test download. I have jumped on briefly. I'm going to do a bit of a review on it this week. I'm not going to cover much, but I will cover what I need to. So yeah, that's all that, guys. Happy hunting. See you in those skies, and I'll catch you on those battlefields.